Hello everyone, I've changed the scenery a bit. I'm now going to do Sonnet 14 by William Shakespeare. Not from the stars do I my judgment pluck, and yet methinks I have astronomy, but not to tell of good or evil luck, of plagues, of deaths, or seasons' quality. Nor can I fortune to brief minutes tell, pointing to each his thunder, rain, and wind, or say with princes if it shall go well, by oft predict that I in heaven find. But from thine eyes my knowledge I derive, and constant stars, in them I read such art as truth and beauty shall together thrive, if from thyself to store thou wouldst convert. Or else of thee this I prognosticate: thy end is truth and beauty's doom and date. So sonnet number 14 is quite an interesting one, I think quite sweet towards the end as well. Again, we have proclamation of love under the impression that the poet really urges the young fair youth to have children, because he doesn't want this beauty to go to waste. There's perfect iambic pentameter throughout the whole sonnet, as far as I've understood it. The sonnet is more about the poet than the young man. He explains a lot about how he sees the world through the poet's eyes. There's a lot of this in another sonnet as well, about the eyes and how they are the window to the soul. It's about the image of the young man's eyes from which the poet derives his knowledge of the world. So he sees the world through the eyes of the fair youth and the beauty in them. Stylistically and structurally, it is a very typical Shakespearean sonnet. It starts with an argument, then there's an expansion on it. Then in the third quatrain there is another but, which sort of turns the argument towards how actually the poet derives his knowledge, and it's not from astronomy, from looking at the stars. It's from the eyes of the fair youth, which are, I guess, a cosmos themselves, a universe themselves. And then towards the end, and the end of the third quatrain, in the last two lines we've got the note about, if from thyself to store thou wouldst convert, that truth and beauty shall remain eternal, so long as you put something aside for the future in terms of creating children and procreating. And of course, in the rhyming couplet we have how the poet sees the future. The vision that he has is actually that truth and beauty will end. There will be gloom for everyone if the fair youth dies without having children, and continuing the line and eternalizing his beauty, for which I have talked about a lot in the past 13 sonnets. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you find this analysis useful, somewhat useful, and you like my performance. Just wanted to remind you that you can also donate on my GoFundMe page to support my future education. And I thank you for staying here with me and listening to the sonnets. I will see you in the next video.